Hello, audience. I am BeanFlake29. I plan to do some YouTubering. So this is going to be my first full official video. I have this list over here where it's Hollow Knight characters, but I give them Pokemon types. Now, some disclaimers: I'm only focusing on the base game so far because I haven't beat Silksong yet, so I'm only focusing on Hollow Knight itself. And I'm going to try to be avoiding the bug type whenever possible. Without further ado, let us begin. We start off with the main protagonist, the Knight, and I think the typing is relatively obvious. I think it's Dark Ghost. Dark is the primary type because it's a bug hollowed out by the Void, but I think it also gets the Ghost type because of things like its nickname, Little Ghost, and whenever it dies, it leaves behind a shade, a ghost. Then we have Hornet, who I think we can't avoid. I don't think we can avoid the bug type for Hornet. Her main thing is being a daughter of spiders and raised by the bees. And her name is literally Hornet. But I also think she could get the secondary fighting type, because she's definitely one of the most capable fighters in the game of Hollow Knight, even counting the bosses. Then we got our main dude, Cornifer. He's going to be the first pure normal type. I'm going to be trying to give a lot of these bugs normal type, unless being a bug is integral to their character. Quirrell is not an example of that. I think he should have his primary type be fighting, because he's very skilled in combat, as shown in the Umu boss fight. But I also think he should have psychic type, due to just being very smart and wise in general. Next up is Cloth, who I think can have pure fighting, due to just her build in general. Now we got Grey Prince Zote, who I think it's normal dark. Normal because he's a weak little idiot. And dark type because, I don't know, I just think it fits. Now we have Tiso, who I think it's fighting steel. Fighting because he's a gladiator who's taken part in the Colosseum, and steel because of his armor and his shield. The last stag is a bug type. Again, being a bug is just, he's just the last stag, that's all there really is. Then we got Mr. Mushroom, who I'm giving a Grass Psychic. Grass because he's a mushroom, and that's just how Pokemon does mushrooms. And Psychic because he's definitely a lot wiser than his initial appearance may seem. Then we have the Nail Masters, Oromato, Sly, and Shiro, who I think all get fighting type. However, if I had to give them all secondary types, I would give Oro the dark type, because he's like the grumpiest of all of them. I would give Mato, honestly, I would just keep him pure fighting. I would give Sly the psychic type, because he's definitely the smartest of all of them. And I would give Shiro the poison type, because of his paintings. Then we got Elderbug, who's normal bug, because he's just an old bug. Then we got Zelda, who, again, I'm giving normal, but I'm also giving her the secondary type of fighting, because it's implied she was a fighter in her youth, because she mentioned putting down the sword to settle with her husband. Now we have Bretta, who gets normal fairy. Normal because she's just a normal individual, and fairy because of her obsession with romance. Then we got Confessor Gigi, who I'm just giving pure dark type, because the only thing we know about her is that she can conjure up shades if she eats rancid eggs. Now we got Steel Soul Jin, and the typing I give her is in the name, Steel. Then we got Menderbug, who's just a bug type, because he's a bug who mends things, that's it. The grubs are normal bug. There's not many explanations needed for a lot of the less important NPCs. Mila is bug rock, due to being a bug who mines things. Charm Lover Salabra is a bug fairy type. Bug for, yeah. And fairy because she's interesting. I'll just put it there. Snail Shaman is psychic dark. Dark because they're at least semi-implied to have something to do with the Void. And psychic because he's a shaman and he does magic. Then we got the Hunter, who I'm giving dark fighting. Even if he's less of a brawler, he definitely can put up a fight. And he's the Hunter. Oon gets Grass Psychic. Grass because they created Green Path with their dreams, and Psychic because they created Green Path with their dreams. Also, they could get stabbed for, like, rest or something. Blue Child Joni is next, so I'm giving Ghost Poison. Ghost due to being dead, and Poison for her association with Lifeblood, which isn't very good for you. Leg Eater, I have him down in my notes as Bug Eater. That's not entirely wrong, but it's not his name. Leg Eater is just pure bug due to being a bug. He eats legs. Now we got Willow, who I'm giving normal grass. Normal because she's an animal, and grass because she eats grass. Not much for some of these guys, I just don't want to give her pure normal. Then we got Relic Seeker Lem, who is pure normal, because he's a dude who collects ancient stuff. Then we got the Nailsmith, who's normal steel. Normal because he's a normal dude who honestly he's kind of strong, he could have gone fighting. And steel because he's the Nailsmith. Marissa gets Ghost Fairy. Ghost because she's dead, and Fairy for her beauty. Then we got Poggy Thorax, who gets Ghost Normal. He's just a dude who got killed. Then we have Eternal Emilsi. I never knew how to pronounce her name, and I still don't. I just gave her Bug. That's it. She's kind of a dude. She's kind of a jerk, so maybe Bug like dark could work, but yeah. They got Mask Maker, who's dark, just because he lives in Deep Nest. Midwife, who's Dark Bug, because she's a bug who lives in Deep Nest. Seer, who I'm giving Bug Fairy, because she's a bug. And also, because I don't know, there's something about her that just makes me think of fairies. And we got Revek, who's Ghost Fighting, because he's dead, and also because he's honestly pretty capable of fighting. He deals a lot of damage. I died to him a lot of times, but that's not the point. Then we got Grey Mourner, who I'm giving Grass Ghost. Grass because, I don't know, there's just something about her. And Ghost, because, again, it's just the vibes for this one. Then we got Millabelle the Banker, who's normal dark, because she's a normal person who's a jerk. Little Fool's normal. Bardoon is psychic, in case you don't know who Bardoon is. He's that big swirly dude. The big swirly dude in the Kingdom's Edge. Yeah, that's Bardoon. Hive Queen Vespa is bug flying, but, well, it depends. If we're counting living Vespa, then bug flying. But if we're counting Vespas, we see are hollownized, ghost flying. Then we get to the Moss Prophet, who I'm giving Grass Poison, due to him being made of moss, but also being a prophet of the infection. We don't like that. The White Lady is Fairy Grass. I don't think I need to explain those two types too terribly much. Grass because she's a tree, and Fairy because she emits light. Tuck is normal type, simply just because she's a dude. She's just a normal person. And then we get to the Grim Troop. Grimsteed is Bug Dark, due to being a bug who moves around the Grim people. Brum is Normal Dark, due to providing the sound for the Grim Troop. Divine is Psychic Dark, due to, I don't know, seemingly being... She has more knowledge of charms than the others do. And then Grim is Fire Dark, because of his power with fire. But then Nightmare King Grim, I'm giving Fire Dragon. Then we have the Godseeker, who I'm giving Psychic Steel. And finally, Fluke Hermit, who I'm giving Bug. That's all for the NPCs. Is this still rolling? This is still rolling. Oh yeah. So now we get to the bosses. Starting off with Gruzmother, who's a simple bug flying type. She's a bug that flies. Not much else. Then we got the False Knight, who's fighting steel, because it fights and it wears steel armor. Then we have the Brooding Malek, who gets bug poison due to being a bug that spits acid. Then we got the Massive Moss Charger, who's grass, because it's grass. Then we got the Vengefly King, who gets dark flying. This is something that I give a lot of the Vengeflies, due to them being vengeful and vicious and ferocious. Now we get to No Eyes, who's Ghost Dark, mainly because the Stone Sanctuary is very dark, and it's probably very dark, not having any eyes. I don't think she can see much. Then we got Gorb, who's Ghost Psychic. Ghost because he's dead, and Psychic because he was apparently very smart. We don't know if he actually was. He could be. Then we got Elder who I'm giving Ghost Fairy, because he's a healer. Then we got the Mantis Lords, who are bug fighting. They're bugs and they fight. Then we got the Soul Warrior, who I'm giving Ghost Fighting. Ghost because of its mastery over the soul, and fighting because it's a warrior. So, Soul is Ghost, and Warrior is fighting. Then we got Soul Master. Ghost is still because of the soul, and Psychic, and Psychic is because he's like a master over, like, using his mind to manipulate souls. Then we got the Watcher Knights, who are just pure steel type. There's not much else to them. The Collector, similarly, is pure dark. There's just not much to it. The Dung Defender is ground fighting, due to it digging in the poop. And he's pretty strong, due to being, spoilers, one of the 5 Great Knights of Hallownest. Then we got Fluke Marm, who I'm just giving pure bug type to, because there's not much else you could say about the Fluke Marm. I don't like the Fluke Marm. Then we have the Crystal Guardian, who's Rock Bug. I don't think I need to explain this one. A bug who's encased in crystals. Then we got the Broken Vessel, who I'm giving Dark Poison, due to them still being a vessel for the dark type, and them being infected with the infection for the poison type. And it's very integral to their character. Then we got Umu, who's Electric Psychic. Electric because they shoot electricity at you in their battle, or more like they spawn it. And Psychic because they're known as the Uncanny God of Knowledge. Now we got the Traitor Lord, fighting dark. It still has fighting because it's still a former Mantis Lord, and dark because I feel like replacing the bug type with the terrifying evil dark type because it betrayed its people, I think that's fitting enough. Then we have a Galleon, who's fighting Ghost. He's a ghost type who loves to fight. Then we got Nosk, who's Bug Dark. He's a spooky evil bug who transforms to kill people. Then we got Zero, who's Ghost Steel. He's a ghost who fights with levitating swords. Markov is Ghost Dragon, due to being the most difficult and annoying of the dream bosses. And we got the Yobble who are bug flying because they're bugs who fly. The God Tamer, who's a bug fighting because she's a bug that fights. And in case you're wondering what I gave her steed, normal bug because it's a normal bug. Then we got the Hive Knight, who's bug flying because well, actually I don't think he flies. He doesn't have wings. He teleports. I don't know, maybe bug psychic. Nah, in all seriousness, it's probably gonna be like bug fighting or something. I don't know, I like Hive Knight though. Then we got the Hollow Knight, who's Dark Bug. I don't think I need to explain this one too terribly much. Then we have the Radiant, who's Dragon Fairy. Now, I gave a decent amount of these, like, celestial beings. The, like the Dragon type, as shown by Pale King, who's also Dragon Fairy. But I'm putting more emphasis on Fairy for the Radiance and Dragon for Pale King. And then for the Nightmare's Heart, who's not a boss, but still, it also gets Dragon, but Dark. And then we have, like, these alternate form boss, kind of. We have Grey Prince Zote, who's fighting Fairy. Fighting because he's incredibly strong, and Fairy, because I feel like Bretta's, like, love stuff would have, like, brushed off on him. White Defender, who's Ground Fairy, due to being ground, but also being white, like the Pale King and whatnot. The Sisters of Battle remain bug fighting. Wing and Nosk becomes Dark Flying. Pure Gustle becomes Fairy Fighting, and Absolute Radiance remains Dragon Fairy. Now we get to the basic enemies. I didn't include all these guys because there's a lot of them, but I included as much as I could think of. And a lot of these guys are just going to have the bug typing because they're bugs. We start off with the Shade, who's Dark Ghost. Just the same exact typing as the Knight, for obvious reasons. The Crawlid is Bug Rock, because it's this little like, rocky kind of dude who just, like, crawls along the floor. It could either be that or Bug Normal, for all I care. I just try not to do that. Then we got the Vengefly, who I gave I just gave the simple Bug Flying type to. I meant to give it Flying Dark, but I kind of forgot, so whatever you prefer. Then we got the Gruzzer, who's Bug Flying. It's a bug that flies. Then we got Tick, who's Bug Steel. I don't think any of its Hunter's Journal entries mentions being made of metal, but it just looks like it's made of metal, you know? Then we got the Aspids, starting off with the Aspid Hunter, who's Bug Poison, because it's the one that shoots the acid balls. Then we got the Aspid Mother, who's just Bug, and same for the Aspid Hatchling, just Bug. Now we got the Wandering Husk, who's pure normal. The Husk Hornhead is normal fighting, while the Leaping Husk is normal Bug, the Husk Bully is fighting Dark, and the Husk Guard is fighting Steel. We'll get to the other ones as we go along. But now we get to the Balder, which I gave Bug Rock, and the Elder Balder, which I gave Rock Steel, because you cannot convince me that the Elder Balder is a bug. Now we got the Moss Creep, who's Grass, Moss Fly, who's Grass. I put Grass type. It's Grass Flying. Mosskin is Grass, while Volatile Mosskin is Grass Fire, because it explodes. Now we got the Fool's Eater, who's pure grass, because it's just a plant. It's not even a bug like the other ones. Now we got the Squit, who I'm giving pure flying. The Obble gets flying poison due to shooting out acid. The Moss Knight gets grass fighting. The Uwoma and Uma both get just pure electric. Ambloom gets grass because it's a mushroom that walks. Fungling gets grass flying because it flies, while Fungoon gets grass poison because it shoots poison gas at you. The Shrubble Warrior and Shrubble Ogres both get grass fighting. Now it gets the Mantises. The Mantis Youth is bug flying because it's a bug that flies, and the Mantis Warrior retains the Mantis Lord's bug fighting type. Now the Husk Sentry is Steel Bug, the Heavy Sentry is Steel Fighting, the Winged Sentry is Flying Fighting, the Mistake is Psychic, the Folly is Psychic Flying, the Soul Twister is Psychic Ghost. Oh crap, I forgot to explain these. It's fine, you can understand why. The Husk Dandy and Cowardly Husk are both normal, because they're just dudes. Rich dudes, but dudes. While the Great Husk Sentry is fighting Steel. The Bellfly is Dark Fire, because it's a spooky, cloaked bug that explodes for some reason, as a survival mechanism. The Pillflip is a bug type, there's nothing else you could give it. The Fluke Phase are bug flying, because they're bugs that fly. The Flukemon and Fluke I like to call them the Fluke Goons, but they're the Fluke Mondos, I'm pretty sure. They both get bug poison, because I don't like them. Then we got the Glimback, which is rock bug, because it's a bug with rocks on its back. The Crystal Hunter is rock flying, because it's a flying bug that shoots rocks at you. Husk Miner is steel normal, because it's a bug that throws pickaxes at you. The Furious Vengefly is dark poison, because he's mean now. The Volatile Gruzzer is flying poison, because it shoots poison at you. The Violent Husk is also dark poison, but you could also go for normal poison or fighting poison. The Slobbering Husk is poison bug, and the Crawlid... The hell? Why did we go and the Crawlid like it's one of those guys? The Crawlid is bug ground, and the Crawlid Hatcher is bug flying. Crawlid because it digs, and Hatcher because it flies. Little Weaver is just a little bug dude, while the Stalking Devouts and the Weavers are both bug dark. The Shadow Creeper is just pure dark. The Lesser Malek is poison rock, as is the Malark. The Infected Balloon is just pure poison, but it could probably have Levitate, but I don't know, I don't really want to give it flying, I don't know. Primal Aspid is poison flying, because it's a toxic piece of dookie. The Hopper is a pure bug type. Hiveling, Hive Soldier, Hive Guardian are all flying bug, while the Husk Hive is bug normal. Then the Spiny Husk is normal grass. As you can tell, I'm trying to give a lot of these husks like normal type. Mantis Petra is dark flying, while Mantis Trader is dark fighting. The Armored Squit is steel flying, while the Battle Obel is steel poison. Then we get to the Fools. The Shielded Fool is pure fighting, the Sturdy Fool is fighting steel, the Winged Fool is fighting flying, and the Heavy Fool is fighting steel. The Death Loodle is grass steel, and the Volt Twister is psychic electric. Now, I haven't completed Silk Song yet, so I'm not going to give you the Silk Song typings, because I don't have all of those. I only have, like, a handful of the characters. If you guys have any ideas for any future videos, because I have a couple ideas in the works, a couple relating to Hollow Knight, a lot not so much. The point is, if you guys have any, like, ideas for future videos, those would be greatly appreciated. And I shall see you next time. Adios.